Welcome, my friends, to a new episode of Framework. And in this episode, we're going to talk about community language learning. We're going to talk about the origin of this method. We're going to talk about the stages that we can follow when we are teaching English as a foreign language using CLL, community language learning. We're going also to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of CLL, and we're going to observe a lesson where I used community language learning with a couple of intermediate students. So let's start. Now, my friends, community language learning was developed by someone called Charles Arthur Curran. Now, Charles Arthur Curran was a Jesuit priest and a professor of psychology at Loyola University, Chicago. Curran says a counselor helps a client by really understanding what's bothering them and showing them how their feelings connect to the thoughts. The counselor listens carefully and responds in a way that is caring but not too emotionally involved. The idea was to use translation so students wouldn't panic every time they spoke in English. It's very communicative, super learner-focused, and different every time you run it. And the golden rules of community language learning are: start with fluency, sneak in accuracy, and make learners feel like rock stars in charge. Now, what are the stages of community language learning, and how can we use these stages in our real teaching? And the first stage is called reflection. And the aim of this stage is to provide students with the opportunity to reflect on possible topics for discussion and build a sense of community before speaking. Now, let's see how I did this with two intermediate students. Okay, let's go and watch that clip. Okay, good. Now, what I want you to do, I want each one of you to think of 3 topics that you would like to talk about. Okay? So how many topics? 3. Anything, like you say, may travel, tourism, whatever you want. Just write them down, and then when you finish, tell me. Okie dokie? Right. Oh, okay, good. I can see 3 and 3. So what I want you to do with your partner, discuss together, tell your friends about your topics, and try to choose one topic to cover in this session. Okay? And tell your friends why it is interesting to talk about this or that. Okay? Whatever you agree with, I'll be happy with it. Now, the second stage is what we call recorded conversation. Now, the aim of this stage is to provide students with the opportunity to produce a spoken conversation at their own pace, using teacher support to build English language sentences and to develop their fluency and confidence through recording. Now, let's see how I did that. Let's go and observe this video. Have you chosen a topic?
Yeah.
Okay, and what was the topic you've chosen?
Volunteering, training, and traveling.
Okay, now I need one.
One?
These are 3.
Traveling?
Have you agreed on traveling?
Yes.
Okay, well that's an interesting topic. I love that. Okay, now look at this. This is what we're going to do. It's a bit new. You are going to talk about traveling together. Okay? Now, what I want you to do, whenever you have an idea in your mind that you don't know exactly how to say it in good English, you will ask me in Arabic. Like you will say to me, "And عاوز أقول da 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 da" in English. And then I will say it to you. Yes?
To say it.
Yeah. Okay, look. So Your discussion now will be recorded. You will be speaking together and I will record whatever you say. Okay? Just when you want to ask me a question, okay, about something to say in Arabic, you can stop the recording. You see what I mean? So we only record your English. We don't record your questions or Arabic to me. But you're allowed to use Arabic as you want. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so you can easily start your conversation, and if you want to stop recording, you click on it again, right? Okay. Okay, so here we are. You can start.
Why do you love traveling? They are traveling to visit many cities and countries. Many cities have new cultures and.
Okay, so let's say, okay, what countries, okay, you would like to travel to and why? Okay, like what sort of countries and why these countries would come to your mind? And if there is, again, okay, try to think of something that you don't know how to say in English and ask it to me in Arabic, because this will help you. Okay? Don't focus only on what you know. Okay, so if there is something that you don't know, ask me, Shadi, how do I say this? How do I say that? You know? Okay, good. So we're going to talk about countries you would like to visit and why. Let's.
My favorite country, Japan, because their community have many useful things like they love working and Bible. Their community has.
So. You can ask. Do you want to say what in Arabic about them?
To help.
No, in Arabic.
In Arabic?
Yeah, tell me. What do you want to say in English but in Arabic?
أشارك في أعمال تطوع إنسانية مثلا.
عندهم إيه? Right?
أشارك في أعمال إنسانية يعني زي العمليات التطوعية برا.
Okay. So to be a volunteer in humanitarian
Yeah.
programs and that. So say humanitarian programs. Say it again.
Humanitarian.
Humanitarian. Humanitarian. Say it.
Humanitarian.
Yeah, humanitarian projects.
Yeah, humanitarian project.
So you can say to be part of humanitarian projects. Okay, so say that to her, and if there is anything that you would like to ask about, just in Arabic, go ahead, no problem.
And you, what about your?
I want to travel Turkey. My good place. After that, very about new food. I want to try it.
Yeah. You love the food,
Yeah.
What about trying the food that you love?
Kunafa. And candy.
Yeah. I went to my friend in Lebanon.
Now the third stage is what we call discussion. And the aim of this stage is to help students reflect on what happened during the recorded stage and share their feelings about speaking aloud. Let's go and observe how this happened. Okay, right. Now, so how did this conversation go, the kind of recording, and then does it make you kind of worried or when we're recording this, or you're okay? Yeah.
It's very important to talk English all the time because to improve your discussion, and then you can know about new words, new culture, to building your knowledge.
Okay. And now we come to the transcription stage. And the main aim of this stage is to help students develop their listening skills with minimal support from the teacher. And let's go together and see how this happened. Wonderful. Now I have an interesting task. We recorded this, right? Now you're going to listen to your conversation one more time and you're going to write it. This is good, right? Okay? Oh yeah! Transcription time! Da, 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 da. Are you ready? Okay, let me do this. So I'll put this next to you, and whenever you want me to pause for you, okay, I'll pause. Okay? Just, whenever you need that, just put your hands like this, and I will pause for you. I'll go back. Okay? Easy peasy? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's do it.
Why do you love traveling? It's good that advances in new things.
Yeah.
And eating new foods.
Yeah. I love traveling to visit many cities and countries. Many cities have new cultures and discover new places, to see many places in the world, cultures, people, to learning new things, about how it's anything.
Yeah. Where are you traveling?
I traveled for the Germany. That's very beautiful to the city. Also have atmosphere that's very good and to the city. Also have atmosphere that's very good and many places about the ancient Egypt. And you?
I from Saudi Arabia when I was young.
Yeah.
That's very happy.
Yeah.
I didn't remember because I was young, 5 years, I think. But I feel happy. I want to travel again.
Yeah, travel is very good and make me to change our thinking and our attitude and talking and your feeling.
Yeah.
And now we come to the final stage, the language analysis stage. And what happens in this stage exactly? Now, the main aim is to help students analyze the language they produce, focusing on grammar, vocabulary, discourse, you name it, and to develop greater awareness of the language use. Now, let's go and watch the language analysis stage together. So let's have a look at your dialogue. Can I have a look? Okay. Right. And can I see your transcription? Okay. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to check this transcription. If you notice that there is something wrong or something you need to fix, try to underline it and try to fix it. Okay? So just have, a good look at it and try to fix everything. Okay? And then we will talk. So start doing that. Have you fixed some of the mistakes? Look, what I want you to do, I want you now to talk together about your analysis. Okay, what mistakes have you spotted? What things you believe that you should change in order to be more accurate, better in terms of language? And then we will talk about this, okay? But talk together first. Okay, right, thank you so much. Now, what we're going to do, let's listen together. This time we analyze together, okay? So let's go one by one.
Why do you love traveling?
Because that advances to new things, new things.
Yeah.
And eating new food.
Yeah.
Okay, eating new food, which is fine, right? But when we travel, okay, to different countries, we can use a specific type of language here when we're talking about food. Food that is related to a specific country. What would we say? We have a lovely adjective that we can use here. Ethnic food. Yes. So ethnic means what? Food that is related to a specific country. Okay? So Lebanese people, they have their own ethnic food. Okay? South African people, they have their own ethnic food. Okay? So, have you tried ethnic food before? Any one of you? Like food that is related to a specific country? You said you lived in Saudi Arabia, right? So, what is an example of a type of ethnic food there?
I didn't know because I was young.
Okay. For me, I did kebsa, of course. That is ethnic food in Saudi Arabia, right? I love it. Okay, I love it so much. But you said you went to Turkey.
Yeah.
Any ethnic food that you remember?
I didn't travel. I don't travel.
You didn't? You want to? Yeah. Okay, good. What about you, Ula? Have you tried ethnic food before?
I don't travel.
What? But you can try it here.
And you told me about the restaurant about Haramut in
Hadramaut. That's the Yemeni food. Okay, yeah, that's the type of ethnic food, right? Or Yemeni food. Okay, wonderful. Right, so let's continue listening.
Hold it,
Try to hold it close
to your
mouth.
I like traveling to visit many cities and countries. Many cities have new cultures and.
Okay. Many cities have a new cultures. Okay. Many cities have a new culture. There is a mistake in here. What and why? New cultures, this is singular or plural? Plural, yeah, right? And do we use this with plural nouns? No. We use it with singular nouns. So you say, many cities have new cultures, right? Yeah, okay. Or, what is better than new here will be different cultures. Yeah, okay. Now let's continue.
Discover new places, to see many places in the world, cultures, people.
Okay, to see many places, how do we pronounce this? Yeah, say it again. Yeah, world. Say it again. World. Again. World. Okay, yeah. Okay, so, good.
To learning new things, about
learning and new things. There is a mistake in here. Who can discover it? Exactly. So that's, you see? Right, good. So it seems that it happens a lot. Okay, right.
Help with anything.
Where are you traveling?
I traveled for a long time, the journey. That's learning new things, you know, about how it's anything.
Yeah. Where are you traveling?
Okay, that's a question here. It says, where are you travel? Where are you travel? There is something wrong here. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, when you say where you're traveling, what does that mean? When you ask someone, where are you traveling? What does that mean? It means that you are traveling?
Now, right now.
Exactly. So when I say, where are you traveling?
Where did you travel?
Yeah, it means that you are traveling right now, or you arranged to travel somewhere, and I know, so I'm asking you, where are you traveling? Or, if I want to ask you about the place you would love to go to, how do I phrase this question? How do I say it?
Where did you?
Did you is?
The past.
I want to ask you about,
About the future.
yeah.
Where are you going to?
If you said, where are you going?
That's a place.
Exactly, it means that there is a plan. No. Where would you like to travel? Exactly, exactly. So when you say, where would you like to travel? It means that I'm asking you about your preference. But it doesn't mean that you're actually traveling now, you know, I mean, that's the difference here between these two. Okay, let's continue.
I traveled for Transcription, the journey. That's very beautiful to the city. Luxor have atmosphere very good, and
Luxor have atmosphere that very good. Okay, let's analyze this one together. Okay, now, what do I say? I say, there's something wrong in here. What is it? Not have, so what then? Yes, you're right. Yeah, good, it's yeah, good answer. Yes, good. Good, I love it. Yeah, right. Okay, so Luxor has. Okay, and I'm happy you said that because Luxor is singular or plural? Singular, good. Lovely, good. And what about atmosphere? There is something missing in here. Let me ask you about atmosphere. Is it singular or plural? Singular, right? But as long as it is singular, then what do we need to put here before it? Either a or? Which one would you choose? Exactly. So Luxor has an atmosphere that very good. Something is missing here. Exactly. That is excellent answer. Right. Good, my friend. Okay, now let's continue.
places about ancient Egypt. When I arrived there, I'm so happy and made.
Okay, when I arrived there, I'm so happy. I love this part, but there is something wrong here. Excellent. Yes. Very good. Yes. Love that. Yes. Good, both of you. So when I arrived there, I was so happy because usually when you speak about something in the past, you need to keep things in the past. Okay? Good. Let's continue.
Many big friends cities in Egypt, like Marsa Matruh. Atmosphere, they're very good, and the many places about ancient Egypt. When I arrived there, I'm so happy and
make many friends. So you're continuing the story and make many friends. There is something that we need to fix here as well. And made, exactly, because we're still talking about a past action and made. Very good. So now, my friends, before we end this episode, let's talk a bit about the advantages and disadvantages of community language learning. Students control over what they say. So in community language learning, students choose the topic they want to talk about. Not only that, they choose what they want to say because there are no barriers. If there is a problem, it's so easy. They can simply ask the teacher in the first language, saying, how do I say this? And the teacher would help them by saying it in English. So simply, they express themselves. Even if they want to say something difficult, the teacher would help. That's a great advantage because, again, this is what we all want. We want to express ourselves. And this is, what community language learning, would do to students. Now, the second advantage is great with lower level students. Why? Because there is so much help from the teacher. You want to say something, you don't know how to say it in English, say it in Arabic or say it in your first language, whatever it is. And the teacher will translate it for you, and then you can use it and record it, and then later we analyze your language. So no barriers. So if you're a weak student, you're helped, you're supported. Now, a third advantage is feeling like a real community, because now you and your students, you feel so much close because you're helping each other. You know more about each other's, levels. You know a lot about the areas both of you want to work in, so that would help you support each other and that kind of stuff, right? So it makes your whole class, feel like a real community. So these are great advantages. Now let's talk about the cons. Let's talk about the disadvantages. And the first one is awkward being recorded. Some students would feel that. And again, you can't blame them. It's not normal to speak to a microphone, and or you feel that you're being recorded, or the teacher using a mobile phone, as you saw me in the video, getting them to say things, and then stop the recorder and then play the recorder again. Sometimes they don't feel, right. So that's a disadvantage here. Another disadvantage is that, some teachers might exaggerate and leave the students, get lost. And then you need to be careful with that. So yes, they will be running the dialogue on their own, but you need to be there monitoring, and you need to see whether they need help or not. So yes, it's learner focused, but don't take it too far. So you leave your students, with no support. Right? Now, another disadvantage is some students who are not used to analyze in their own language, and transcribe in their own language. So you will need to train those students to be ready to that sort of teaching, because it's not something that they might do, everywhere when they study English, or it's not something that they might have done before in their background learning. So it might be pretty new to them, and you need to help them with that. But again, my friends, that's another lovely framework to add to your bag of ideas and to your bag of frameworks. And again, it's lovely, it's different, it's learner focused. And if you're asking me as Shadi regarding what I think myself of community language learning, I think it's lovely. And but my preference, and this is personal, I believe it's great when you use it with smaller groups, like 5 students, 6 students, like that. because again, when the number of students is bigger, it means that, you know, students' production, okay, would be little. Because again, you need to get this sentence from one student recorded, unless, and that's also a possibility that you can do. But again, it's a form of communication that we have these days. Because again, I was thinking, how can we make use of community language learner if we have large classes? Like, what if we have, you know, 20 students? And again, 20 students, that's not a large class in some schools where, you know, you might have 90 students in one class, or 60 or 50. And again, I mean, those classes exist, you know, how can we use community language learning? Very challenging. But again, I had this idea of using WhatsApp voice messages, where students, you know, okay, might form WhatsApp groups, okay, and then they can use their mobile phones, and then they can use and send voice messages, and then later this might be sent to the teacher. But it's technologically speaking, it's demanding, and it means that all the students have access to mobile phones, or at least, you know, one student has a mobile phone in every group. But again, what about language analysis? Which conversation would be analyzed, and how would you choose as a teacher? Of course, the possibility of running the language analysis part in a different class is there. I mean, so you can actually go through all the other stages in one class and maybe analyze language in the other class, which will give you some time to look into students' production. But again, these are limitations of community language learning. But I mean, I would say if I have, you know, a couple of students, 3 students, 5 students, I would use it in a very comfortable way with them. Thank you so much for watching this new episode of Frameworks. Until we meet again, everyone. Bye-bye for now. See you.